Hi parents, how are you? Another video from me. Yes, sorry. But actually I hope that the videos that I'm doing are helpful to you. I know for me as a visual learner, and all this stuff is new, being able to see it again and kind of being walked through it really helps me. So I'm just going to go over a couple of things with you. I explained some stuff to your student through a Google Meet. But like I said, there's a lot going on and sometimes they get confused. And so I wanted to make a video so I can show you where they'll be going next week to look for stuff. So what they're going to do, when we get into our work for Wonders, but is also known as McGraw Hill, you are going to want them to log in through Clever. Now, there is a way that I can link the work onto our Google Classroom, but sometimes the login doesn't work. Sometimes there's glitches. And so I personally have found that I would rather the students go to Clever and actually click the icon from there to get to their work, okay? So first step, if there is work for Clever or for Wonders, it would be under Google Classroom and it will say work for today, and then I'll tell you the steps of how to get here. So they'll go to student login. I'm going to use a student login today so you can see, and I can see from the student side. We log in like this, and then here's her Clever, okay? So you can go to Mrs. Wall's classroom page, and we're going to scroll down, and here it is. So it's called McGraw Hill, also known as Wonders. So you might hear both, okay? McGraw Hill, it's a red icon. They're going to click it, and it's going to just open up automatically. So once it opens up, the setup is really nice and really easy for them to do. Sometimes it takes a minute. It opens up, and then you're going to see Valley Springs Elementary. Good. You don't need to know anything else besides launch. The students have to click this launch to get into the next step. So they're going to go launch. Wait a minute. And so here is the page they're going to see when they first come in. Now, there is a lot of different buttons that they could click and go to. Right now, they're going to be focusing on this, and this says to do. And so as of right now, I'm coming in as a student. I see a number 2, so I know there's 2 things in here for me to do. So what I'm going to do is click to do. It's going to bring up my to-do, okay? Now, there might be work in here from last week or previous day, and so the little check marks means that work is done and that work is turned in. If I come right here, so this work needs to be done, and it says Unit 1, Week 1, Spelling and Phonics, okay? So I just click on it, and it opens up this next page. Now, at this point, all you're needing to do is, here's the work, okay? You click this little icon, and you want to open interactive version. And when I say interactive, that's because they're going to be writing and typing using the interactive version, okay? So they open that up, and it's a page like this is going to come up, okay? Now, I'm using this page just as an example of something so you can kind of get the idea of what the work's going to look like. So if you go down here, let's see if I can get rid of that. Perfect. There's a couple options I showed students they could use. So they could either type it in using their keypad. You can create a line, or you can create a square and type it in there. You can use a pencil, or you can use a highlighter, okay? I'm going to show you what it looks like to type, okay? There's different fonts and black. I don't want anything other than black. I know students are probably going to want to do fun stuff, but let's stick to black. And then you click where you want to type. And so I'm just going to use this one as an example. Let's just say I'm doing my spelling words. So I'm going to write C-L-A-P, clap, okay? Next one, I'm going to use, let's do a pencil for this one. Now, the pencil is tricky, and not a lot of students like using the pencil, and I don't blame them. So I'm assuming that the typing is going to be the easiest way to get this done. So now the pencil. Now, I'm a teacher, okay, and I think I have pretty good handwriting. I am going to show you how hard this is for me to do. Okay, look at it. Looks like you could never tell that I was a teacher. So here's my thing. Does it say camp? Yes. Okay, it says it. You can read it clearly. It says camp. But I don't want students to get frustrated and feel like they always have to use the pencil. They do not. Typing is just fine, okay? There's also the square you can do. So you can create like a square box like this. You let it go. And then you can type right in the square box and you can write hand. Okay. So it just depends what you guys want to do, what your child or student is comfortable with. Honestly, I think that using the typing is just going to be easier to do. Okay. So now let's look at this. Now my work is done. And so I need to figure out what I'm going to do now that my work is done. So if you look over here now, there is imagine I finished all this, obviously, and my name was on my paper. You look here and it says save. This has to be saved before I can even see it. So the student could do all this work and then click this X. That's not going to work. They have to hit save. So they click save and it said saved your assignment and your work in your binder. Okay, so I'm done with this page now. So I can actually click out of it. So now I got to turn this page into my teacher. Okay, so I'm going to go to add resource, click that, and it's going to bring up a box. Okay, and I'm going to go to my work. This is work that I've done. My work, and I'm going to go to, that was a worksheet. Okay, and I'm going to look in here where it says right here. Okay, it says phonics and spelling. I'm going to add it. Let's see if I can move that up a little bit. Okay, so click. If you want to make sure it's the right one, you can, yes, that's the right one, Mrs. Walls. Oh, goodness. Okay, you can click add, and then down at the bottom, you have to hit done. Okay, now that is done and that is added to share to the teacher. Okay, if you want to write a note to the teacher, you can write a note. If not, you hit submit. Your assignment has been submitted. Okay, and then you're done. So if I go back and look, that checkbox means it was turned in. If you do not have a checkbox, that means something went wrong. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you for our Wonders program. I'm going to show you when I go to our teachers page what it's going to look like, or our classroom page. You go to classwork and computers, information for families, morning messages. Every day we'll have a morning message. Math will begin next week as well. And so with math, there'll be a direct link for the student to hit and they'll go straight to math. We'll also do math in the mornings together. And so I will tell students, go to the link and finish your math work, okay? And then right here is where you're going to find it, Wonders Language Arts. So what I will do is I'll put the date and I'll say, please follow these steps. It's the same steps. Go into Clever, find McGraw Hill, click, and then do the work, okay? So that is all the information I have in regards to Clever, or to our McGraw Hill, that will begin next week. Next week, we're also going to start our small groups. And in our small groups, that's what I'm doing right now. I've been assessing students, trying to see where they are reading, see if they need help more with blending or more phonics. Maybe they need help with comprehension. Maybe they just need help to kind of build their speed up in their fluency of reading. And so I'm going to have students split up into 4 different groups. And I've taken really good time on this, and I still have a couple things I need to finish up. And so it is really important that not only the students show up for the 8:30 a.m. Google, that is going to be our live math lesson, but they also need to show up at the time that I'm going to give them, and that is every week, okay? Some groups are meeting only one time. Some are meeting 2 and some are meeting 3. It just depends on their needs right now as we get going in 3rd grade. And that can change because I find that like we've had a big break, but students are already starting to catch on and they're starting to remember things. And so I just want to make sure right now that we are loaded and ready to go so we can get them caught back up or wherever they need to be. So I will post that as well so that we can all look at it. Let me know if that group time doesn't work, but that group time, that would be every week unless I change it, okay? Last thing I want to mention is some of you have not been able to go on our classroom dojo. And so there's only a couple parents. Hopefully you'll get to see this. But I kind of wanted to show you on our classroom dojo what it looks like. And I share a lot of stuff on here. So I'm going to open my screen. Okay. And here we are. So I have a couple parents, see, that aren't on here yet. So your students are getting points, okay? They're getting points for different things. And so they're getting points for helping others, staying on task, on time to small group, which is very important because if I have 1 or 2 students late, then we cannot, I don't know, I mean, we can't finish or we're going to cut someone else off. So we can't have that. Participating, persistence, reading for 20 minutes every day. At the end of the day, I go and check on Epic and I can see who's reading and how many minutes. Has to be 20 minutes. Red Friday, if we're wearing red on Friday. Teamwork and working hard. Now, there are positives, but there's also needs work. And one thing I've noticed is inappropriate comments being on our Google chat, okay? I'm also going to add on here interrupting during lesson. And what will happen is the student will lose a point if that happens. And so you should be getting all of this information sent to you so you know exactly what's going on, okay? So I just wanted to go through that real quick. And I do have a reward system coming through. The first reward is they're going to need to get to 50 points. And I'm going to share this with them. And then I'm going to send them a message all for themselves. And then there's a couple other things like lunch with teacher, missed work, stuff like that. So I'll share that with them. Okay. All right, parents, I think that's it. I know that's a lot. Things will start getting so much easier once we start getting in this routine. The first couple weeks are always hard. It's just like that inside of a classroom because we have to get assessments done. We have to get to know our students. We have to get a plan done because not every year, every grade is the same. And like I've said, we've had a big break from school. And so we are just trying our best to get everyone where they need to be, okay? Any questions, please let me know. I appreciate all the feedback I can get, positive or negative. I'm always here. You can text me, you can email me, you can find me on the class dojo, and I'm here to answer your questions, okay? Have a great one. Happy Friday.